Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 12th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, Misty, and AMZY. Today, I'm actually not in the garage. I'm on the couch next to Little Rod because he did not sleep all night. So here we are hanging out. So hopefully I don't wake up the whole house with my voice, but we shall see. All right, so who had trades yesterday? TSLY, CONY, Misty. That's it. I mean, but that was enough. Look at CONY. Like, what the hell? And then Misty, not too bad themselves right there. TSLY at least was kind of easy. So right off the bat, when you look at TSLY, what do you see? You see two BCs. All right, so the first BC, which is the second line down, that's buy to close a put. And then to the right, you see 2,000. So they did a buy to close the put. They closed out their synthetic position, 2,000 contracts. Then the top part, obviously, they sold their call, which is the other part of their synthetic. And you could see they made a lot of money on it, right? 69.65 on the sell. The put cost 18.60 though per share to close it. So obviously, overall net though, they won on that trade. And then the BC on the bottom, third line down, this is for the weeklies. They closed out the 340 position, and then they sold the 375, which was the call they purchased, part of the call credit spread. But anyway, let's take a look at the data and see what it looks like. All right, so here we go, TSLY. So TSLY has a 295 synthetic. And let's take a look. Here's the subtraction of the 2,000 contracts. For the call, they made 13.9 million. For the put, they paid 3.7. So overall, they made about $10 million yesterday. Again, in a forced position to close out the contracts because people are, they were selling out of TSLY. And if you're asking why, I mean, TSLY's hasn't gone up like this in a long time. So people are probably, either taking profits or just selling out in general. That's my guess. I don't know. You guys are probably, some of the few. So if you did sell, let us know in the comments. All right. So this synthetic has a strike price of $2.95. Right now, it expires in 102 days, but they are already 18% above that synthetic strike. Actually, I have my laptop, so I do see the pre-market. It's looking kind of red for Tesla. It was super green at 4 a.m. though. All right, so yesterday, Tesla did go up 8.96%, and TSLY went up 6.74%. So did not capture the full upside, but did capture a decent amount. All right, so here's the 2,000 contracts that they closed. Tesla it's above the 340. It's actually at 350 at the close. So they lost on this 340 trade. They paid 15.80 to close it. However, they did make 5.15 on the call down below. So the call credit spread in this example obviously helped out, the situation, the blown through strike in this example. It's still an overall loss. However, obviously the damage, they kept the damage to a minimum. As you can see here, I mean, this should be green, of course. There you go. So they did make 792,000 net on the call credit spread, the buy call, and then they lost 2.2 million on the call that they sold. So, but overall, again, it's an overall loss. They lost 1.5 mil on that trade. Now, other positions heading into this Friday, they have, again, all eggs in one basket still. What is it? 30,000, about 30,500 contracts, 340 strike price. That's 2.86% in the money. And then they have the call credit spread with a 375 strike. That's 7.14% away from helping. And if you look yesterday, they closed out, a portion of the call credit spread piece, right? But it was worth money because there's a lot of time value left. Tesla wasn't necessarily above the 375. However, because of how volatile it was and because of the time left, they were able to sell it for something. It was more valuable than what it was when they purchased it, which is good. Okay, moving on here. Kids getting antsy, by the way. Here's the shows the decrease, the people selling out. So outstanding shares had a decrease of 1.6 million. So here's the recap. 30-day IV, 68%. Outstanding shares, 65.9 mil. Total net income is a loss of 57.3 mil, unfortunately. Reaction, I mean, the Tesla chart has been up and to the right. Obviously, that could end today. By the way, it's going to end thanks to me because I sold I sold 2 puts on TSLY. I just couldn't help myself but to jump back in. But it's all good. And Group A, which Tesla's a part of, declares on November 27th, 15 days away. Okay, payment information. We have synthetic income, 135 mil. Short call loss, 57 mil. So that's a net income of 78.4 mil, which comes to $1.19 per share. 10 wins, 10 losses. Rotomator, we can't really use because the weeklies aren't producing income. But we will look at the IV, which is pretty high at the moment, 68%. And that produces an 88-cent payment. So estimate so far, 88 cents to $1.19. Let's move on to the holdings. So if we look at the synthetic, again, very valuable. Look at the orange, right? Orange is greater than pink. Check, check. That's good. No gold digger here. And then obviously they have the call that's expiring Friday. Not in a good spot. It costs $20.63 right now per share to close, but we'll see how that plays out. Here's the synthetic bailout money if they need it, 182 mil. The weeklies, you see, you close them out right now, they would essentially make 141 mil, which is good. Okay. By the way, total net assets, 1 billion. I don't know if you saw that, but TSLY has now hit 1 billion. I would say they were number 2. However, we have another friend that hit 1 billion, so I'm not sure who hit it first, probably Misty. But either way, TSLY, NVIDIA, and Misty are now at 1 billion, which is crazy. The NAV is at 1538, and the trade price is at 1536. Okay? Speaking of Misty, let's move on to Misty. As mentioned, they had a trade, so we'll skip over CONY, and we'll go right to Misty. A lot going on here. So what the heck did they do? Again, always look for the BC. So what they do, they did a BC by the close. They closed out 14,480 contracts on the 255, and that's a put. So that means they closed part of their synthetic position. So they sold their call, and you see how much the call was worth on their synthetic, 63.05. So they did well there. So when they closed it out, they started a new position, being the 315 strike. This is the new synthetic strike. Again, it's almost 50-50 though. They did not close out the full synthetic. They closed out partial. And then it seems that people are still buying into the fund, so they're doing a buy call, sell put, sell call, buy call. That's the 4 transactions in the middle. Again, 785 contracts, new positions. Great. And then last but not least, on the very bottom, you see another BC. What they do? They closed out what? The weekly. All right. And they lost on that one, obviously, because MSTR is going insane. You can't really stop it. You're going to lose no matter what call you chose, you probably would have lost it because it's going freaking nuts. But either way, they decided to close it. And they had to pay $33.92 per share. The synthetic, where is it? Which one was? The sold synthetic, $14.50. So that did help a little, which was good. And then they started a new position. All right. Anyway, let's go to the spreadsheet. So here's the synthetic 255. If I'm talking lower than usual, obviously it's because I'm trying to be somewhat quiet. But all right. Anyway, so here's the 14,480. Right, that was the closure. Yep, 14,480. They made 63.05 per share, which came to $91 million.
Let's go.
All done?
Yeah.
Okay. So offset that against the 1.4 million, and they made about 90 million yesterday, closing out this synthetic position, which obviously gets added into the payment one information, which gets carried over to the payment details. Reminder that this synthetic actually expires Friday, so I'm surprised they didn't just close it all. But they're going to wait. They're going to let it go. It expires in 4 days, which is fine. But because they're 33% above it, we'll see how this ends up. All right, so they added the 14,480 contracts to the new synthetic 315, and that starting position cost about 10.9 mil, and then they added 785 contracts, which cost them a little more money, about 1.5 mil. So in the end, they paid 12.4 mil to start this new position. And this one expires on February 21st, 2025. They are already, is this a 3-4? No, yeah, 315. So they're already above it, 7.94%. Let me just make sure. Synthetic 315. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, 102 days till expiration. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's go to the weekly, see how MSTR did yesterday. I mean, look at this, guys. It went up 25%. It's nuts. So MSTY, they were able to capture, not all of it, but they captured 16%. However, they did miss out on about 9% of the upside, which, that kind of hurt, to be honest. Misty shareholders are extremely happy as it is, but if you do break down how much, they were capped on this side, obviously it's kind of damaging. If we go, where's the other big day? So here, like MSTR went up 5%, they captured 2.3. 13 versus 10, that's not as bad. All right, so yeah. Yeah, it would have been nicer if Misty captured a little more upside. But, where's the closure? Here we go. We could see why, right? So here's the closure. They closed out the 28,000 contracts, right? Is it 20? What does it come to? 28 or 29? Yeah, 28,960. They paid $33.92 to close out that position, but they did make $14.50 on the call credit spread. Now, if you look at the gap, like out of the money, right? How much out of the money versus the other? It was about what, 11% gap, 14 as at. Look at the as at 14% versus 4%. So it's about 10% gap, which kind of makes sense that the situation yesterday, they had a 9% gap in the upside. But either way, let's look at how much they had to pay to close out the weekly: 4.5 and 93 mil. So obviously a very expensive position to close out, but they did make about 42 mil on the due to the credit call spread. So all in all, they lost, right? They lost, but it did end up, not as bad as it could have been. However, if this gap was a little tighter, like they had a 290 call, if they maybe did a 310, by call, obviously it would have been a little better. However, we know it gets expensive to buy a call on MSTR, so they probably couldn't go that tight. Okay, so that's the closure. Let's look at the new positions now. Okay, so they closed out those. They opened the 785, and then they opened the 28,960. Let's just make sure they did choose an expiration date into this week still. So here's the 785 contracts, 350 strike price. That's 2.94% out of the money. And the call credit spread, $400. That's 17% out of the money. I mean, their gaps are getting wider and wider. Of course, the price is going up, which makes sense, but still $50 gap. I mean, that's a bit much, especially with what they got, 4 trading days. All right, the other position, 28,960 contracts, 330 strike price. That's already in the money. Again, we don't know when they made this trade. They could have made it before MSTR went absolutely insane. I mean, it kind of went insane all day, but it probably went up further after they made this trade. But it's 2.94% in the money. I mean, that's not good. So they're losing money on this position already. The call credit spread is $60 gap on this one. So their strike is 390. With MSTR being at 340, it would have to go up $50, more than $50 to even do anything. So, I mean, this was probably one of the dumbest trades I think I've ever seen. I know MSTR is going nuts, but really $60 gap on, I don't know. These gaps are just ridiculous, to be honest. And I'm not really a fan at all of the call credit spreads and how they're being used. Obviously, it shows that they're working out in some situations, right? They did actually go above 325, which was surprising. But we have such a short time frame here, less time frame, 4 days, and they have such a big gap. You know, but again, we'll see. You guys aren't here to hear me bitch, or maybe you are. Who the hell knows? All right, so outstanding shares did go up by 2.4 mil, which that's a pretty damn big jump. People are getting FOMO. Look at this IV though, 30-day IV, 122%. Outstanding shares, 29 million flat. Total losses from the weeklies, 85 mil. All right, so reaction is, we were on the moon. Now we're just in outer space, right? MSTR, MSTY just keep flying high. MSTR especially, like that's nuts. And if you bought MSTX, which is a double leveraged fund of MSTR, you're probably a rich man at the moment. Maybe we should all would have went all in on crypto when Trump won. We all be rich. Anyway, Group D declares in 8 days on November 20th. Ready for this? This is gonna be fun. All right, synthetic income 286 mil. Deduct the weekly loss of 85 mil. You have a 201 mil in net income. That comes to $6.94 per share. Obviously, that's awesome. However, keep in mind, we do show 9 wins and 23 losses. I mean, that's a lot of transactions. Am I even pulling up the right? Yeah, because we're still all in payment. They've had a lot of trades during this 4-week cycle. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, not the best record right there. But either way, a lot of people don't care because from the outside looking in they see Misty going up, right? Covered call ETF going up. But, keep in mind, it could always do better. All right, here's the Rotomator. We can't use that part of it, but we can use the IV part. IV being 123%. Our payment is going to be ridiculous this month. At the low end, I'm showing 369. At the high end, I'm showing 694. If I were to guess right now, I'd say in the $4 to $5 range. All right, Misty Holdings, what are we looking at? Well, we got pink and we got orange, right? No gold digger here. Both oranges look pretty good. I don't know if you heard it, but my little rod just farted. And then we got the calls in blue, right? The lighter blue is the sold call. And then the darker blue on the bottom is the buy call, right? Call credit spread. So we'll see how that plays out for this week, though. Oh, I'm actually blocking the field here. Let me close out. There you go. So you can see the total net assets is 1 million. I'm sorry, 1 billion. I can't even get my numbers straight for Misty. The NAV is 3601, trade price 3609, and obviously the synthetic is very valuable. Part of it they're going to close before Friday, and that part is the 1115. It's worth 124 mil on the call side, and it would only cost 1.1 to close the put side. So look forward to that. That'll get added into what we already made, boosting up whatever our payment is going to be. So that being said, again, they could hold back a lot of it. So keep in mind, the last payment was over 415 around there. So they're definitely going to try to beat that payment. Maybe possibly hit the $5 mark. We'll see. All right, so that was TSLY and Misty. NVIDIA did not have a trade, but let me cover that before we get into the other two. Here's NVIDIA. They have 93,340 contracts with a 130 synthetic strike. They're sitting pretty on that, 11.74% above that. Expires in 39 days. All right, let's go to the weeklies. What do we got? Weeklies tab. NVIDIA actually went down yesterday, 1.61%. And NVDY went down 0.89%. Sometimes when I'm making these videos, I don't even know what the hell I just said. Like, I feel like I just said NVIDIA twice. But whatever, right? I know I misspeak a lot. It happens. All right. Proper zoom is never easy. Okay, here we go. You ready? All eggs in one basket, 148 strike price. This is about 93,000 contracts, and that's 1.89% out of the money. Again, so far, so good, but 4 days left. Anything can happen. The call credit spread, is it going to help? It has a 155 strike. It's 6.71% away from any type of help. Outstanding shares did go up by 1.2 mil, 1,275,000 to be exact. That's a pretty damn big jump. We should see a trade today on NVIDIA due to that. I'm surprised we didn't see one yesterday. 30-day IV, 52%. Outstanding shares, 52.1 mil. Total net income, unfortunately, is a loss as usual. That they're down 24 mil. Reaction, more and more people buy NVIDIA. It's getting a little crowded there. So Group B does declare in 22 days on December the 4th. I think my son's actually getting tired finally. It's amazing how he's been up since 12. He was up till, 3 with my wife. So I checked in, I put him back to bed. He went back to bed until 4:30, and then he got up, and I don't know. It's crazy. But, that's the beauty of little kids. Sometimes they don't sleep. All right, so here's the breakdown. Synthetic income, 0. Short call loss, 24.5 mil. And yeah, so obviously there's no income to show there. But if we look at the IV is 52%, which would reflect a $1.12 payment. They'll have money. They have plenty of time. They got 22 days. They may have to do a synthetic bailout. So we'll see. All right, let's move on here. We have orange call, pink put. Orange call greater than pink put. No gold digger, so we're in a great spot right here. And then we have, the weeklies. Again, we'll see how it plays out. Biggest fund still 1.3 billion. They are in danger though with TSLY and Misty. Coming for them, man. They're coming, but they still have the lead. So I guess should we consider them number one, the GOAT? Most people say no, Misty, but we'll see. 1.3 bill. The NAV is 25.64. Trade price 25.64. Synthetic bailout is worth 150 freaking million. That's going to be a massive payment per share if we ever get that. All right, so that's NVIDIA. Let's go to CONY and AMZY. CONY had a trade, so we could start with them, I guess. Let's go back to the photos. So, again, I'm not going to go through all this, but in summary, they closed out, obviously, a lot of their positions. You see the BCs. You see a BC and a call. Again, they're closing out the weeklies, and then they're going to start a new position, right? And they're going to start a new position, obviously, with a credit call spread, which is why there's so many damn transactions. The one I highlighted, circled or squared out in red, was unusual because they closed out, part of their synthetic, right? So where is it? They BC'd the call when they sold the put. Yeah. So again, let me go to that spreadsheet real quick. What was the synthetic? 230, right? Yeah. So they had a 230, and then they added, they closed some of it and moved it to 320. Okay. So that's kind of like what it's showing, but it's showing that they bought a put and sold a call for the 320, right? And it's also showing that they did a BC buy to close on the call versus the put. So the whole, anything in red that I circled is the opposite trade. It's the opposite. So that it was, again, a typo, I'm assuming. I'm looking at the, when I look at the holdings, I don't see any, because this shows that it's a short. It's not a synthetic long, it's a synthetic short, but it's not. It's a synthetic long when I look at the holdings this morning. And the holdings, from my experience, is always right. This intraday trade can be messed up. So if you guys were kind of confused yesterday on this, rightfully so, very confusing and typo. I did not email YieldMax though, but if you would like to, feel free. If you want to get their confirmation and let me know what they say. Everything else, again, closing out positions, and but it's just it's a lot. Let me just say, I picked the right fund to stop tracking, detailed, because you guys see, like, this is nuts. This is insane, unless this is your full-time job, of course. But anyway, let's get to the spreadsheet. So how did Coin do yesterday? Well, Coin went nuts, right? Coin went up 6.5%. CONY captured 13.91%, which, okay, that's not too bad, actually. It's less than 3% gap. And you could see the synthetic, they had two synthetics now, a 230 and a 320. Both expire February 21st. Currently, Coin is at 324, so we're above both strike prices. Obviously, the call, you could see the 230 call is so valuable, 245 mil. And then everything in between, these are the new positions. I assume they're all new positions. But who the hell can tell with all those trades yesterday? But I'll go through them. 75, and they all expire this Friday, by the way. 7,500 contracts, 325 strike price, 0.23% out of the money. 11,175 contracts, 330 strike price, 1.78% out of the money. 6,255 contracts, 340 strike price, 4.86% out of the money. And then 10,000 contracts on the bottom, 370 strike price, 14.11% out of the money. So CONY is the king of scatter-D-do, and I love scatter-D-do. I just don't like tracking scatter-D-do. And then they also have scatter-D-do call credit spreads. Lowest one is 345. That's 6.4% away from helping. Highest is 390. That's 20% away from helping. So we'll see if those are needed, but time will tell. Wait, so... Oh, wow. So CONY also hit $1 billion as well. I mean, okay, so yesterday was a really big day for YieldMax. Holy crap. Wow. I didn't even realize CONY. See, I've been so busy worrying about their stupid mistake on the thing, and here they are hitting $1 billion in total net assets. Let me just double check. So we had CONY, and we go to Misty. Yes, okay, so Misty has it. And then you go to TSLY. Yeah. Wow, that's impressive. All right, anyway, look at the NAV. Good God, 1962. What a freaking recovery. Congrats, you CONY holders who actually held through this. The trade price is 1970, 8 cents off. Synthetic bailout, obviously it's ready to save, but right now no saving needed. They did some closeouts yesterday. We'll see what happens by the end of the week, though. 30-day IV is 90%. IV estimate is $1.37. They are part of Group C, and they declare in 1 day. My estimate, which was... Actually, let me go back. What was my estimate? 119. Wow. Now, look at this. They're up 590 in price. My estimate is going to change. I mean, they might pay to $2. Right? Let's see what $2 looks like. 131% yield. Wow. Wow. Should we give them $2? You know what? Let's give them $2. What do you think? Or $1.80? I know they held back on NVIDIA. I feel like this is kind of a holdback, right? They made $5.90 per share. So rightfully so, they could do this. But I feel like this one, the yield would jump out. So I'm going to, and I don't normally do this, but that was a big, they had a good day. Today's looking red, by the way. So they're probably some of it's going to come back. But I still think they may pay $2. I don't know, guys. Whatever. Again, it's just for fun. $2, by the way, we said is 131% yield. And you could still hold me to the original estimate. Again, I don't really give a damn, to be honest. All right, so anyway, they declare tomorrow on that. So wait for what they say. Forget what I say. Obviously, it shows I'm in this file as well. Hopefully, I completed it. So let's look at Amazon yesterday. Again, the bigger stocks aren't really moving. Amazon went down 0.65%. AMZY went down 0.69%. I don't know why AMZY went down more, actually. But whatever. It's not a lot. Synthetic 210. Currently, Amazon is actually below this synthetic by 1.53%. But it's okay. It expires on February 21st of next year. Here's their call. Their call expires this Friday. Just, one sold call. They have a strike of 215, 3.95% out of the money. That's good to see. Maybe they'll actually, win a trade. Some of these funds actually win trades, right? I would love to cover AMZY in a more detailed fashion like I do the others, but because look how easy it is. They just have one little trade. These other ones are nuts. Call credit spread is showing a 225 strike. That's 8% away from helping, but they probably won't need it. Total net assets, again, nothing compared to the others, 192 mil. The NAV is 2034, trade price 2032. All right, synthetic, is it worth a damn? Not really. So we'll go right to the 30-day IV, 23.96%. I feel like it got a little better. IV estimate shows 37 cents. This is Group D. They declare next week on November the 20th. All right, that's 8 days away. All right, so that's the update. I'm going to go to pre-market now, even though I'm kind of cheating and looking at my laptop. I have my laptop on me since I'm on the couch. So Tesla, like I said, I sold a put on TSLL because I'm a degenerate options trader, and I just had to have some TSLL. And here we go. It's going to go red. You're welcome, right? Anyway, Tesla went down 4.62%. It's at 333.48. TSLY went down 2.93%. It's at 1491. NVIDIA, it went down 1.07%, or it is down 1.07%. It's at 143. NVIDIA is down 1.09%. It's at 2536. COIN is down 5.62%. It's at 30602. CONY is down 3.96%. It's at 1868. Maybe this one bill is over for all three. MSTR is down 5.48%. It's at 32102. MSTY is down 4.1%. It's at 3461. TSLL is down 10%. It's at 2025. If you're wondering what I said, I sold puts on TSLL. I chose an $18 and a $19 strike for next week. So far, they're still okay. But again, if I get assigned, I don't really care. All right, TNA, they are down 2.27% at 55. AMDY is down 0.69% at 1290. AMZY is at 2032. They're not updated. BTC is down 0.39%. It's at 86,691. I saw someone say they're going to have one more sell-off before they hit 100K. Maybe this is it. All right, BitX, which is the 2X Bitcoin, they're down 0.86%, 49.54. SOXL, again, they're still going down 4.24%. They're at 31.38. I have a put party on SOXL. If you're wondering what my strike prices are, I have a 35, I have a 34, I have a 32, and a 31. So if this keeps up, I'm probably going to get assigned quite a few shares this week. Super microcomputers, I guess they're updating. The percentage doesn't update. They're at 22.34, which looks to be down. SMCY is 26.47, no percent update. Palantir is down 4.25% at 57.68, and Platy is down 1.16%. It's at 60.40. So it looks like the market is finally taking profits based on that super bull run since Trump got, Trump won the election. So we'll see what happens today. It looks like it's going to be a pretty hard sell-off for Tesla and crypto from what I can tell. But again, anything can happen at the market open. The market opens in about 4 hours. So we shall see. All right, guys, minimal interruptions, which is good. But as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we will try again tomorrow. All right. Sorry, I know some of you would rather have heard Little Rod a little more, but he's super exhausted and he's not chiming in as much. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button. It does go a long way. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments down below. All right, that's pretty much all I got for today. But just wanted to say thank you guys for watching. And obviously, yes, I'll do a keyword. So it's keyword time. Keyword is, I don't know. How about go to sleep, Little Rod? How's that one? Maybe that'll work. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, all you have to do is say the keyword. You have to comment it down below. That way we know you watched this entire video. So today's keyword is go to sleep, Little Rod. Maybe he will fall asleep. He's acting tired, so we shall see. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Oh, there he goes. He's ready. All right, and have a great day. Later.